try that again. That's Hallelujah, Praise the Lamb. We did do that in church. So, introduction to the guitar. I'm going to just go right with my classical here first. The first difference that you'll know between the two guitars, the flat top that you have, yours is called a flat top basically, and a classical guitar is the classical does not have the steel reinforcement rod that runs all the way through the neck. This is just plain wood. There is no reinforcement rod. And a violin is another instrument. It's the same way. It does not have reinforcement in the neck. But most instruments do. Most guitars, electric guitars, flat top guitars, most of them have a steel rod in the neck. Banjo, I don't know all the instruments, but most of them I think have a steel rod in the neck. So we'll start up here. This is the head, and then the tuners, tuning knobs or tuners. There may be another name yet, but I think I've got it covered pretty well. And then this little bridge is actually called the nut. Okay, this is the nut. And then these are each called frets. Okay, I'm probably telling you some things you already know, but we'll just run through all of this anyway. And then this end is the bridge. On the classical guitar, it's a little bit different than other guitars, but we just tie the strings on right there, right on the bridge. And then the 6 strings. This is the fretboard. Okay, the neck, and the front, the back. This is the sound hole. It's called. This is where you lose picks. They go right in the bottomless pit right there. And so, like I said, the main difference between the two, well, the strings are also different. These are nylon strings, and these are steel strings. But the steel rod in the neck is the main difference I always think about between the two guitars. All right, and just give you a little bit. I don't do a lot of music. I don't understand a lot of music, and I heard something that encouraged me the other day. I think probably the best guitarist in the world, at least in my opinion, is Tommy Emmanuel. He goes all around the world. He's a phenomenon now. He's all over YouTube. And my dad and I got to see him in concert several years ago. Unbelievable. And he said on one of his videos that he doesn't know music either. He doesn't read music. He knows just a little bit, you know, like I do, I guess. I can name a few notes or whatever, but I don't really know music. I don't read music. I don't go by music. One thing they have nowadays, I don't know how long it's been around, it's called tablatures. You can get it on your computer, or you can get a book with full of them or whatever. It's a new way to look at a chord. It's like you're looking straight at the neck. It's like a picture. It's just little dots with a fret line and just little dots that represent your fingers. And they've gone over. They're huge now. They're very, very popular. So tablatures, you can look. And, it helps you to see things really, really well. How to finger an E chord or whatever. So tablatures are great. I learned those actually in church a couple years ago when the Lord helped me to really get better several years ago. Tablatures had a lot to do with it. I went a long way from where I was. All right, and then your strings are noted E. The lowest note is E. The highest note is also E. It's 2 octaves up. 1 octave is right here. So you got E, and then 1 octave, and then 2 octaves. So the two open strings there are E's, and then you got A, D, G, B, and back to that other C. Okay. Now, one thing I've learned to look at to find my place on the guitar, if I'm needing to know what note I'm on or what chord I'm on or whatever, something, you need just a little bit of music, you know. So you need to know just a few basic things. But the E, if you just hit the first fret, now it's an F. And go up one more, F sharp, and then G, G sharp, A, which is the same as the next string, open, that's an A string, and there's your A here, and then A sharp, B, let's see what B, I guess it's B sharp, I think it's, yeah, B sharp, no, is there a B sharp? Let me think about that a second. C, that's C, that's B, so that's actually C, there is no B sharp. See how much music I know? So anyway, we go from B to C, and then from C, C sharp, D, D sharp, and then E. So there's your E octave again from where we started. So all these right here on this fret are octaves of the open string. So A, and an A again, D, G, B, and E again. All right. Let's hit an E chord. You might know E. You said you know a little bit already. You've learned how to play a song. Maybe you know where an E chord is. And then if you learn how to bar, then you'll quickly find out where a chord is. You can just do it all straight from here. Barring that same chord, it's easy to find where. So we got E, and then F, F sharp, G. Just like I ran up on that one string, now we can do the same with the chords. F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, straight to C, C sharp, and I'm running out of finger room. On a classical, you don't get very far. D, and then right on up. Classical doesn't have as much finger room as other guitars. All right, so again, E, F, and just skip that fret. We want to go straight to G. So we go F, G. So you know how to do a G, I bet. D, A, I do recommend getting one of these, and go ahead and, since you're starting off, I would recommend that you learn to use one of these. It'll be a little uncomfortable at first if all you've ever tried with is a flat pick, but this is going around the world now, and this since Chet Atkins, who passed away about 10 years ago or so, since Chet Atkins made it the biggest phenomenon. He wasn't the first, but he took it and went far with it and became very famous with the thumb pick. He took it from Merle Travis, that was his hero, but Merle Travis just didn't make it as big as Chet did. And then of course Tommy Emmanuel, he uses it as an Oriental fellow. I want to say he's Korean, but I'm really not that sure. I forget his name now. Anyway, he uses it. He's a phenomenon. So they've gotten very popular. I highly recommend that you get one and start learning how to use it a little bit, and you'll get comfortable with it. It just takes a little while. And I've got one extra one I can give you. Think of it when I see you next. You can play just certain strings easier when you start learning to finger pick. When you have a flat pick, it's a little clumsy a little harder to only play certain strings. You want to just play all the strings all the time. You just strum and play, which is fine. That's a good campfire music, you know, whatever. But if you call that showing off or what. Anyway, I think I'll hold up and let you get started. Get yourself familiar with the guitar, where the notes are. Like I said, we're not gonna really attack music a lot. We're gonna attack the guitar and just learning how to play guitar. But you do need to know just a little bit, like I said, some of these notes and some of the chord. You need to know the chord names, so you can start figuring out some things. You'll go farther when you do know a little bit of the chords and how they work and whatever. One chord I learned to really like a lot, I found it in worship. It seemed like it was used in worship music a lot, is a 2 chord. Like here's your A, but here's the A2. There's the difference right there. Here's before. Now you drop that, and it's a different kind of a feel. I don't know how to explain it. Like here's your E. There's the one we're going to change. There's your E. Drop that down to a 2. Those were all 2s right there. One more time. So, get introduced to the guitar. Remember what this is called, and it comes in handy sometimes to know a little bit about the guitar itself. And you can learn some of your basics if you don't know them all. Just the simplest chords. E. I'll tell you what, it really helped, and maybe I should put it up in this video. Maybe I should go ahead and get a tablature of some of the simplest chords, and you can look at it, what an E looks like, and you can go, oh yeah, I can see that on a fretboard, and that's what it does. That's what it is. It makes music simple for knuckleheads like us. You can see there's a dot for the 3 fingers that I'm using right there. You'll see 6 strings, but you'll just see 3 dots, and you'll figure out a lot of chords that way. Slide the E up one, and you got that. That's a Spanish sound. All right, I've messed around a little bit, but I just wanted to get an intro to you, and we'll go from here. And like I said, I think I'll go ahead and show you some tablatures. All right, love you, man. Hope you do well. Get you one of these thumb picks. Tommy Emmanuel said that the flat pick is actually, sometimes it's referred to as a plectrum. I never heard of that. Maybe it's just over in Australia where he's from, but it's called a plectrum. But we just call it a pick, right? And this is a thumb pick, so get you a couple of these. If I give you the one I've got, I'm afraid it's probably going to be too big for you, but we can give it a try. But if you have a chance to go to a music store, get you a couple of them. They're pretty cheap. All right, take care.